over $20 million for a 9-episode series. This is how much Netflix paid for Squid Game. And it was so popular that now it is expected to deliver to Netflix about $900 million. So the return on investment is 40 times more than they invested in less than 2 months. Not bad, right? I wish I were the owner of Netflix, to be honest. I think that many of you are thinking the same right now. But do you know how Netflix started? They started in 1997, and they were renting DVDs by mail. Only 10 years later, they started Netflix as we know it right now. As an entrepreneurship researcher and an entrepreneur myself, I was always fascinated by success stories of startups. Why some entrepreneurs are okay with running a small local coffee shop on the corner and others see the whole world as their marketplace. What is the difference? That's why 8 years ago I started doing research on this topic. And last year I published a book called Born Global Entrepreneurs. And today I'm here to share a couple of insights about how global entrepreneurs think and act, and what can we borrow from them in terms of behavior in order to achieve our goals. As I was talking to entrepreneurs from Brazil, from Ireland, Spain, and from all over the world, I found out that there are certain similar behavior patterns, those patterns were repeating as I was speaking with different people from all over the world. And today I wanted to share 3 main patterns that I noticed. So first one is the thing that they do all the time. Global entrepreneurs, they are practicing networking. They talk to people. And I'm not only speaking about casual chats on Friday night with your friends, but they are doing strategic networking. They are looking for clients, partners, all the time. And Sarah Saraswati, a researcher from Virginia University and entrepreneurship professor, she calls this behavior patchwork quilt principle. If we're looking at patchwork, we see many pieces that completely don't match, but when they are brought together, they are creating this beautiful picture. The same is with global entrepreneurs. When they're creating their projects, they are creating them together with their networks. They are looking for clients, partners, mentors, and everyone is contributing to their success. They never act alone. And they never eat alone as well. The book called Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi is about networking. Keith Ferrazzi recently was on my podcast, and he shared that it is so important to practice building relationships right now. To build, it is important to build strategic relationships and deep, meaningful relationships, especially in this era of distant working, when we are not able to connect with people. And this is something that we can practice as well. So think about your goals that you have in your private life, in your business life. Who can help you to achieve those goals? Think about those strategic people in your life with whom you want to build those relationships, and reach out to them. And you can even practice what Keith Ferrazzi is suggesting, the generosity principle. So don't make an ask immediately, but first suggest what can you do for them so that they can help you in return. and then you will create this beautiful patchwork quilt. Another principle which is practiced by global entrepreneurs is that the way they deal with problems. So they don't see problems as problems, they are creating opportunities out of every challenge. So they're practicing the lemonade principle. When life gives you lemons, make lemonade, they say. And this is exactly what global entrepreneurs are doing. So you might say that, well, this is not about me, it is just their personality, but let me prove to you that it can be about you as well. Because it is quite easy to make lemonade out of lemons if we realize what are our reactions to those lemons. So imagine the stressful situation that, for example, you get a bad email, something that is triggering your negative emotions. You can react in different ways. One of the ways, usually we have bad emotions, and maybe some of you think that, oh, I should have done better, it is all my fault. Maybe some of you are thinking that I knew this would happen. So we always have this inner critic inside of our head that is telling us all those nasty things. And actually, this is something that is scientifically researched. Sherzad Shamin, the researcher, wrote a book called Positive Intelligence. And in his book, he is describing those behaviors, those inner critics, and he calls them saboteurs, those behaviors that are sabotaging our actions, our goals. And there is a way to deal with them. So, for example, if we get a bad email from our client or from our boss, we can choose whether to to experience those bad emotions and to let it spoil our day, our week, or month, or we can feel those emotions for a couple of minutes and then consciously deal with them and let them go. So this is something that we can learn from well-known entrepreneurs, the richest people in the world. By the way, do you know who is now the richest person in the world? Currently, it is Elon Musk. He is now the richest person in the world. And do you know how many lemons he got during his career? His startup, PayPal, was considered one of the top 10 worst business ideas. His first rocket launch resulted in an explosion. His second rocket launch resulted in an explosion. He had some major complications with other launches, and he was, in fact, almost bankrupt several years ago with both Tesla and SpaceX. So, looking at this person, we can see how many lemons we are able to overcome. And a lot of well-known entrepreneurs are saying the same, that, for example, Jeff Bezos is saying that he made billions of dollars of failures at Amazon.com during all those years. Walt Disney, who was actually fired from a newspaper at a very young age for not being creative enough, he says that it is so important to have a good, hard failure when you're young. Then it is so much easier to just get over it when you have next failures. And there will be more lemons in the future. We need to understand this, and we need to learn how to deal with them. So networking and dealing with problems, those are two things that international entrepreneurs practice. And also actively looking for feedback and applying it. This is something that global entrepreneurs are perfect at. If you look at the stories of international startup successes, you can see that the way they started is completely different from the way they are now, they finished. For example, Netflix, in the beginning, they were renting DVDs and selling DVDs. After some time, they stopped selling. They were just doing rental for some time, and then they started video-on-demand platform. So they are changing, adapting to market requirements. And how they do it is they are actively looking for feedback. They are asking their ideal clients. So in order to actively look for feedback, do not ask just anyone, but ask people who are interested in this product or service. If you are an entrepreneur, then look for your ideal client, not just your mom and dad, or your friends and family. Of course, if you ask your family, then you can get two types of feedback. First type would be, oh, this is lovely, it is amazing, you're doing a great job. And the second type of feedback would be, oh, this is not very good, you just go and find a normal job. So both of those types of feedback are they are not useful for us as entrepreneurs. And global entrepreneurs, they know about it. So that's why they are looking for people who would be ideal clients for them. For example, Bill Ollett, the entrepreneurship professor from MIT Sloan School of Management, he's telling about this, that in the beginning, when we just start, we need to find up to 10 people who will use our product, even for free, who will commit to use our product and to give us feedback after this. And then, after receiving this feedback, we need to decide what to do further on. Because clients, they don't care who we are, they don't care what is our background, what are our hobbies. They only care for us to deliver them value. And global entrepreneurs know about it. They are looking for this feedback all the time. We as human beings, if you are not a business owner, for example, you're thinking, why do I need to search for feedback? We are a little bit resistant to this because we are afraid to hear something bad about us. It is really painful to hear that something is wrong. And we just feel sad after this. We don't want this. I'm encouraging you to treat feedback as a present, as a gift. This is the way how those global international entrepreneurs succeeded. They were proactively looking for feedback all the time. Treat it as a gift. For example, the Christmas is coming, you will get a lot of gifts. Some of them you will just put on the shelf and forget about them, but some of them you will start actively using. So remember that feedback is something positive, is a gift. Some of the piece of feedback you might just put on the shelf and not use it anymore, but some of them will be very useful. So our global entrepreneurs, to sum up, they are using those 3 principles that I'm encouraging you to apply in your life to achieve your personal goals and professional goals. First one is strategic networking. Make sure to set goals and to define who is a strategic person that is very important for you in order to achieve this goal, and what do you need to do in order to build relationship with this person? How can you help this person in the first place? Then the second is making lemonade out of lemons and treating problems and challenges as opportunities, as something that is temporary. Think about Elon Musk. How many lemons did he overcome on the way to his success? And third point is feedback. Don't be afraid of feedback. Treat it as something good, as a present, and apply it. If you think that it is useful for you, then, of course, apply it. So I'm going to continue my research and on the global startups, and my next step will be not only researching startups themselves, but also the whole startup ecosystems, like Silicon Valley, those big ecosystems that are supporting startup activities. And this will be the completely different TED Talk, but for today, I wanted to encourage you to adopt those behaviors of global startups, because this can help us to achieve our goals. So network, overcome your problems and challenges, use your feedback, and maybe you will be the one who will start the next Netflix.